Hello, Internet! It's your boy, MC Gingerbread, back at it with another video. Today, I want to talk about multiplayer games and how the industry is killing the first-person shooter genre. The squad games. The games you play with the boys, or the girls, or the squirrels, or whomever you squad up with. We have a severe lack of fast-paced action shooters in the marketplace, and it's severely disappointing. We had so much potential in the making with Overwatch 2 and its cool PvE elements that have yet to be released, Battlefield 2042 and its disastrously buggy launch, with a fundamental change to the gameplay, which also had disastrous results, Halo Infinite, and okay, there wasn't a lot of potential there, but that grapple hook though, woo! And then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was decent at best, which, got me out here complimenting Call of Duty, so ew. But the changes they made to that game, some of them made absolutely no sense, and it also has this awful menu system, which is just horrible, just god-awful. But let's take a minute to break down what's going on and why all these games are shadows of their former selves. I tried so hard to like Overwatch 2. I loved the first one until they broke the game with Brigitte, but the new version of this game and how it works seems to be trying to prevent the breaking of like it was before, but as Blizzard does, they also slid in some of the most scummy monetization tactics that they could have possibly thought up. The skins that used to be free in the original game, or at least earned through gameplay, are now $20 and up. And you can earn game currency, which you could use to purchase skins, but it's such a slow rate that it would literally take you around 20 weeks just to earn enough to buy one legendary skin. Their events are shallow and boring, and a lot of the time with very little rewards comparatively to what they were in the original game. And they're essentially just like a marketing ploy for like, hey, buy these skins because it's an event, whatever. They also prioritized quick matchmaking rather than skill-based matchmaking, so the range of people that you can get paired with is much larger, resulting in the games where your team either gets rolled or you roll the enemy team, and that just makes for boring gameplay and unfun games. No one likes losing without any chance or just absolutely dominating in every game. The whole point of the game is competition, otherwise people would just play against bots or, PvE, which is why they made this whole game in the first place. And that version still isn't out, and the game has been out for 4 fucking months. The seasons are too long. The competitive meta is like the same 5 champs on each team. They also deleted the original game, seemingly to not allow you to earn the skins for free, which is just so unbelievably scummy. Ever since Microsoft announced that they were buying Blizzard, they've been on a losing streak. So let's hope that this acquisition goes through, and whoever these higher-ups in Blizzard that are making these awful decisions gets thrown out with the garbage. With Diablo 4 coming out this year, they can hopefully not kill 2 major franchises within a 6-month time frame. I will be cautiously optimistic. Battlefield was easily one of my favorite first-person shooter games to play with my group of friends, aside from like Halo 2 LAN parties, but those days have come and gone. Anyway, this new Battlefield was a disaster from the very start, and unless they alter the foundation that the game was created on, it is not a Battlefield game in my eyes. They transitioned from the traditional squad-based elements to the now infamous hero shooter ideas that have become ever prevalent in first-person shooters, like Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege. But that's not what Battlefield is or ever was. It was about the group. It was about how it bonded randoms together into making team plays that benefited the squad and not just their kill scores, which, might I add, you could not see when the game first came out because apparently scoreboards are toxic. What the fuck? When this game launched, it was not only a drastic change from how the game worked, but it was also broken as fuck. The guns didn't kill people. Imagine that, a game solely centered around gunplay and shooting, and the guns didn't work? Like, how did this game get sold to people? It was no single player, day one battle pass for a full $60 priced game. More people are regularly playing the previous Battlefield 1 and 5 than the newest game in the series, which, if there is any indication that whatever they changed in the game the fans did not like, I feel like that right there would be it. Look at that, guys. Fix your fucking game. Halo Infinite was a disaster from the start. If you want a more in-depth review of Halo, go check out my other videos right here and right here. It was supposed to be a Series X console game release, but it was pushed back an entire year to work on the game, as pushback from the gameplay trailer was immediate and harsh. The game released to a mild success that was quickly forgotten about, as everyone was furious with how the progression and monetization systems worked, or essentially didn't work. They had to fix all those issues, which didn't allow them to create content to keep people playing, and then players dropped off in droves as the desync issues were abundant, and there just wasn't a lot to do in the game. After the announcement that the developers couldn't get the co-op campaign to work, which is a lie, it's totally easy, they could do it, there was just another mass exodus of fans, including myself, as the game just wasn't all what the devs promised, and it even birthed a petition to get 343 Industries to not make any more Halo games, as they have tried 3 times to right the wrongs, and they have fallen into the same pitfalls each 3 times. Each iteration of Halo that they've created has been awful. The death of Halo is especially sad to me, as Halo was easily one of my favorite first-person shooter genres ever. Like Halo LAN parties of Halo 2 and 3 were some of my fondest memories growing up, and it's where I created some of the lasting friendships that have aged far better than this series. I will not be buying the next Halo if 343 has anything to do with it, because they have proven themselves to not be an honest company and has continually promised things that they do not deliver on each entry into the series. Just don't bother. Call of Duty is easily one of my most disliked long-running franchises in the first-person genre, but it is easily one of the best first-person games in the current era of crap shooters. I got so tired with how samey everything in these games felt, and I fell off for a really long time until Warzone dragged me back in kicking and screaming. Warzone 2 is a nice change of pace, as they slowed some of the gameplay down so it isn't dominated by sweaties like the other Battlefield Battle Royale games. I'm looking at you, Apex Legends. But the map is also super big, so before you could slide cancel to move across the map quicker, but now that's been removed, so now you're in open space much more frequently than before, and now it's much easier for teams to beam you without you giving you the chance to even fire back. Sadly, this new version of Warzone and Call of Duty in general isn't without its own pitfalls as well. It follows the same formula of the previous game, where certain guns seem to dominate, as guns are wildly overpowered compared to some of the other ones in their class, and so it's the only ones that you see in the entire game, and it makes for boring and monotonous gameplay as expected. They also deleted all of your skins and gun progress from the original Warzone, so all those cool skins and guns that you bought, yeah, they're gone. They're stuck in the previous iteration of the game, which is currently swarmed with cheaters, because Call of Duty seems to only be paying attention to their current game and nothing else. The menu system in the Modern Warfare / Warzone 2 is also god awful. It's just atrocious. It feels as if it was designed by a child or made for a mobile game. Which, the fact that the reports that they just ripped the menu system from their mobile game only makes even more sense as you look at them side by side. I have never encountered a game that makes it more difficult to play. It's like the exact opposite of Overwatch that prioritizes quick matchmaking to its detriment. Call of Duty seems to want to actively trap you in its confusing menu system, as it's to keep you in the store or whatever so you can spend money instead of actually playing the game, and it's just infuriating. Just to back out of the game takes like 10 seconds of waiting for a screen to show up, plus like 4 button presses, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it takes upwards to 3 to 4 minutes just to find a fucking game. So the longer you take to start searching, the more tired of waiting you get. It's frustrating. A rise in co-op first-person shooters to emulate the style of Left 4 Dead has also started trending, which would be fun if the games that were released were actually, finished or fun. Back 4 Blood was one of the most boring and generic zombie shooters I have ever played. The story was almost non-existent, and the missions were just a bunch of boring generic levels that had no distinct qualities of their own, and all just felt the same, like nothing. Now, there is finally content that seems to make it a decent game, but the base game and all the content will run you upwards of $90, which I find appalling that they would ask that much for what was barely a game in the first place. Anacrusis was another co-op first-person shooter that came out and quickly died as there wasn't much to it, and it felt like Left 4 Dead in space, but without any of the character or story that made Left 4 Dead so good. And the only decent co-op shooter is Warhammer Darktide, but the game could barely hold itself together as it had multiple crashing issues when it first started. To the credit of the developers, they have worked on fixing those issues aggressively, and it seems like they're on the track to make it a decent game, but it still isn't fully there yet, so we're just kind of stuck waiting to see when the game will be fully cooked. Alas, it just seems that all the new first-person games have realized that it doesn't even matter if your game is fully complete or working or even releasing with the original content that was promised in the trailers. Games can just come out half-baked, missing content, and broken, and people will still pick them up and play them, and it's just sad. I swear, I feel like an old person every time I say games back in my day just worked when they came out, but it's never been more true than right now. I just want to sit down and play games with my friends, but it seems more and more prevalent that I have to take some kind of compromise or concession to deal with annoying issues or crashes or shitty monetization or just missing content anytime that I want to play a game with the boys, and it just sucks. Thankfully, as gaming has become more and more mainstream, I feel like the pushback on games like this have gotten louder and more focused. We just need to keep at it. Hold the line. Don't buy unfinished product. Make sure that you go into a game informed with all the issues before you decide to purchase that new $40 skin or extra DLC or whatever. Thanks for listening to my rant. I hope you enjoyed my video. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below, and make sure to always like and subscribe. And thanks for watching my stuff. Peace. As a little addendum to the end of this video, since obviously it takes a while for me to record and write these videos, and things have changed since I recorded this, they just recently announced that Back 4 Blood is full dying, which is hilarious, so rest in peace, that garbage game. They announced that Battlefield is now going to be going back to the squad-based gameplay instead of their stupid hero shooter shit, which is fucking amazing. So obviously, all of that complaining and people bitching worked, and we just need to keep at it. Maybe they'll add in, like, guns that work, and, like, destruction of the environments, like, what the other games used to have, which I doubt, but whatever. And then also, Overwatch just recently announced that they're going to be changing the way that their monetization system works, so you can actually buy skins, which is fucking cool. And you can afford to buy skins from just the free battle pass on its own, which is nice. The only downside to it is that it's just Generation 1 skins, so if those people that, like, collected all the skins from the original Overwatch, guess what, motherfucker? You gotta pay up, get some more skins. So, I don't know how they're going to change that as it goes on, because people will eventually buy all of the skins, and then they're going to be SOL and back to that crap monetization system that they have right now, but we shall see. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.